everybody, it's me, Miss P, and today marks another great day where I get to be your art teacher. So today we are going to be working on the second part of our perspective walk in the aquarium project, and I'm going to preface this by talking a little bit about materials, because when I found this project, I saw the materials they use and I thought, oh, those are great materials. I'd like to use something else. And since you guys are at home, you, of course, and I always say this, you can use any option available to you to make your project. So I'm going to tell you what they used when I found this project online. They colored in the background of their aquarium, like this white space. They first made their animals with crayons, the fish and the octopus and all those sort of things. And then they colored in the rest with watercolor. And I might do watercolor, but I think I'm going to draw my different creatures with colored pencil. So you can choose to do this or you can choose not to do this, but that's what I am going to do. And I think that I would like to make my creatures pretty colorful, so I'm picking out a couple of colors that I can use. I've got this reddish orange that I might make a fish with. I've got a purple colored pencil that I might make an octopus with. I'm going to maybe do some sand at the bottom that I could do obviously with like a sand colored pencil. And I'm going to try to avoid using colors like green or blue because I am going to color my water blue, of course. You can definitely use green or blue if you so desire, and I think, green would probably look just fine. This is just what I am going to do. All right, so I think I will start by drawing an octopus. And I like the idea of putting an octopus up here. I've got some pencil smudges actually. So I like the idea of an octopus kind of being over top. An octopus pie kind of have heads like this, and then a lot of times their tentacles will sort of spread out around their body. And you'll see that I'm crossing over the lines here that I made because these lines are not, they don't separate different tanks of the aquarium. The idea is just that they're sort of the structure that would hold up this aquarium's ceilings and everything. So right now I have 6 legs. I've got to add 1. I'll put 1 over here, and 1 can go behind my other legs. So I've got an octopus shape right there, and I'll color it in. I think I'm going to do my coloring in. I could do it during a time lapse. I'm trying to make these videos not so long so you guys don't have to watch for a long time. Let's see, what else could I draw? I could draw a fish. I think I will draw a little fish over here. And my fish, I drew a koi fish actually for the other class. So maybe I'll draw a koi fish in here as well. And I start with a teardrop, put little fins on the back, little fins on the side, ripply fin on top. There's my little koi fish. I'll give him a little smile. Let's see. Maybe I'll draw a couple of these fish because, they're pretty small. So I'm drawing another little teardrop. And maybe 1 more. Put 1 over here. You don't have to load this up with animals. Like, it doesn't have to be an overload of animals. Just what you think that you would like to see in an aquarium. So I think I've heard a lot of people talk about wanting to see a shark or wanting to draw a shark. So I think I'll draw a shark today. I'm looking for a good gray colored pencil that's nice and dark. This will work. and I'm going to draw a shark over here. We're not really worrying about the perspective angle of this project right now. We're just sort of drawing our creatures the best we can. We're not worrying about the complications right now of doing our animals to perspective. So here's my shark. He's got his nose right here, and his eye might even be kind of covered up by this spot. So I'll draw his eye kind of behind there. Do some fins, and there you have your shark. So obviously all of these are going to need to be colored in. I think I'll do one more, and I would like to do a turtle. So I've got my green colored pencil. I was going to grab a brown one too, and I'll do a turtle up here. So I'll do the shell, sort of a shell up top, or well, I guess the shell is kind of brown, and the turtle's body is more like the one that's green. So you can do it either way, obviously. I mean, your turtle can be whatever you like it to be. So then I'll draw my little turtle's head in green, popping out, and the little fins. Turtles that live underwater have fins that are kind of fin-like, you know, like the traditional definition of fins. They're sort of long and flappy to flap in the water. So that's how I'm drawing my fins. And then I'm going to draw the bottom part of my turtle's shell, just around his fins right there. And then there, you know, I always draw hexagons on the top of my turtle. Like I sort of decorate it like I decorate if I were drawing a soccer ball. I draw the top of the turtle the same way, but obviously I don't color it like a soccer ball, because that would just be silly. And you know what? I said this was going to be the last one, but maybe I'll draw one more, like a little guy or a couple little guys. I'll throw in some seahorses. So let's see. Seahorses. And you could also draw some little fishes. So let's say I'm drawing some tiny little fishes over here. Just little tiny fishes. I don't know if actually I might put a lot of animals in here. So if you want, you don't have to draw all these animals, but I'll give you some options, and that way you can have an idea of how to draw all of these creatures. But I think it's important to remember that a lot of these creatures travel in packs, like with multiples. You hear about schools of fish. So when I'm drawing little fish like that, it's a good idea to draw multiple of them, because that's how they travel. Whereas sea turtles and sharks don't travel in packs, usually. So neither do octopus, octopi, octopeople, whatever you want to say. Okay, and then I'm going to draw a seahorse, and I'm varying up the colors just to make it more fun. So I've got like an orange here. So I'll draw a little seahorse. Seahorses have little curls on their tails. They've got noses that are like little flutes. I always think of them as little flute. Little flute noses, or their mouths, I guess, are the end of that. And then they've got fins that go down their back. So there's one. I'll draw another, maybe over here. And then
definitely draw seagrass, guys. It looks best with seagrass. It's not optional anymore. You gotta do it. Seagrass looks good. All right, bye.
From the bottom here, I'll do that. And I always recommend like drawing bubbles and things like that in the water. I always think it looks good to do that. So obviously that's your choice. And you can also put a little sand at the bottom. So to keep this video from getting too long, I think I will color in my animals with a time lapse. And I don't think I'm going to outline them in anything. I was thinking about outlining them in a Sharpie, but I don't think it's necessary, really. And then I will probably color in the background, and you should be able to see everything from my time lapse. And then I will get back to you. So that's what's going to happen, and I will see you soon. Okay guys, so I stopped my time lapse to tell you guys that I am going to actually watercolor the background of this. So I'm going to do that in the next time lapse. I wanted to go over a couple things. I colored this with colored pencil because I don't think the watercolor is going to seep into the colored pencil because the colored pencil is sort of waxy. I don't know if this goes for all colored pencils though. So I recommend when doing the animals you use oil pastel or crayons. That would probably be the best if you're going to go with watercolor. So I'm going to watercolor this background, and I'll do another time lapse for that, and then I'll get back to you. So, oh, one more thing. I also, after I drew all of my animals, I went over some of the details in the wall with Sharpie again, because I drew over some of them, and I thought it would look a little bit neater if I did Sharpie again. So that's that, and I'm gonna get started watercoloring. Okay guys, so here we are. I watercolored my drawing, and actually after I watercolored it, I tried to freshen it up a little bit with colored pencils because I just did a straight wash over the whole thing. So I painted over the colored pencils and they got a little faded. So I would suggest to try to avoid the creatures when you're doing the watercolor. This is still a little bit wet because I just painted it. I'll probably end up going over this again with some colored pencil just to get the color really crisp with the animals. So of course that is an option, but another option obviously is just not putting, not painting over the animals with the colored pencil in the first place. So you can watercolor over it, and it does give it like more of an oceany vibe, like you're seeing these creatures through the water. But if you really want them to pop, which I always do because I love looking at colorful things, then you should do that with colored pencil. I think I'm gonna make this pop with all the tools I have because I really like this project. I feel like it's a good time. So enjoy. I think this looks pretty cool. I really like this idea, and I hope you do too. So use what you have. The watercolor looks nice because doing watercolor for an ocean generally just kind of works. So do that if you like. Color it however you like. I just want to make sure that you know what will happen. But if you go over the crayon or the oil pastel with the watercolor, I can almost guarantee you that it won't sink in as much as it did here because those tools are so waxy and water is so water. Anyway, that is the end. I hope you enjoy this project. I can't wait to see them just because I think that this is such a fun idea. And I'm sure I'll see them soon.